and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed participants, a warm welcome to the inaugural function of the 15th Triennial and 3rd International Conference of IFSA being held at IFSA headquarters at Vashi. I, Priya Jacob, am executive member of the IFSA. This momentous occasion wouldn't be complete without acknowledging the valuable presence of our honored guests, whose support and contribution helped us reach this remarkable milestone. On behalf of our entire team, I extend my deepest gratitude to each and every participant present here. Before we explore the programs and sessions of the day, I have the great pleasure of inviting our dynamic president, Dr. Rita Mukhopadhyay, to give the welcome address. Rita Mukhopadhyay, ma'am, please come over.
Press the slide mode.
I know, but click on that. Huh?
Morning to all of you present here with us today.
Okay.
On behalf of the trustees,
Yeah.
executive committee members, and our staff, I welcome you all, the participants of the conference, and their families, volunteers, sponsors, and the well-wishers to this triennial and 3rd International Conference being held at the headquarters 2023. 2 years into the inception of the association, it was the vision of our founder members to begin these conferences. This brought together large number of women, men, students to come under one roof and discuss sciences, technology, mathematics, economics, innovation, environment. As the years progressed, our subject lines also fell into place with the moving times. And all these conferences also stemmed from the headquarters to the branches. The Golden Jubilee year has been a step forward with all of us getting into the online or the digital platforms. And that is making us possible to communicate and reach out to the entire world. I would like to throw a light on a few of our very recent activities. The internet provides you the others for another leisure time. Of these are creation of a tree library for the nursery children, digitization of our almost 50 years old Firuz Shah Godrej Library, the Satish Havare Computer Education Center on its 31st year has moved on to become a data processing center. And there are many more upliftments, like from the awareness, science awareness activity, where is our prominent footfall. We organized a math Olympiad for in this Golden Jubilee year. Besides, the VP network, which gives us teach one program. And there are many more. I thank all of you once again to be here with us, to step into the forward 50, and with the energy conservations in mind, we wish that fuel intellect feeds into the 41st, as like our addition of the 2nd Tejomoy solar panels, dry waste composting facilities, our garden, which is a learning garden living museum, and the latest to network with institutions who are now coming forward for their NGOs. With this, I would like to call upon the person for whom we are to hear about how the journey of the conference. Dr. Lalita Dhareshwar, past president and the convener of the 15th Triennial and 3rd International, shall interact over the next 3 minutes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Good
Okay.
morning to you.
Okay.
Welcome. I'm happy to invite all the special invited guests, especially Madam, who is the Managing Director of LIC, who was kind enough to come for this function and at a very short notice. And of course, all our sponsors and the speakers and the chairpersons of the sessions, judges for the posters, and those who have presented their research work through the posters, other scientists, delegates, and participants, and many of our IVSA members to this long-awaited conference, the 15th Triennial and 3rd International Conference on the theme Women in Science and Technology, Soaring on the Wings of Change. RNL's NPTIL Brit, without whose support these GAE units, it would be very difficult for us to organize this conference. And also the sponsors, TCS, LIC, Genotype, Nucleus Office Park, Kenny, Nivesh India, Hari Krishna Exports, High Media. This conference was possible because of their help together. Today and for the next 2 days, we will be together here to listen to the lectures of 25 women and 10 more women who have accepted to be our chairpersons in the 10 sessions of the conference. These scientists and
पॉलिएस्टर आणि दुसरा काय ऑप्शन
excellent careers, science and technology, and so to say, they have broken the glass ceiling. So it is going to be a real treat. All these lectures from frontier areas of science and technology. The Indian Women Scientists Association IVSA, is completing 50 years on 13th. And the Golden Jubilee celebrations were ushered in on exactly 1 year ago, 13th June 2022. We celebrated the Environment Day in a very special way on that day. It was celebrated in the style in which Rabindranath Tagore celebrated Vasantotsav. This was taught to us by our president, Dr. Rita, who is an alumni of Shantiniketan. Then on 14th of June, we organized an international conference called One Earth, Rebalance Energy to Sustain. This was based on the global campaign, Only One Earth. That is, we have only one Earth to live on, and we better take care of it. This was a signal to all the people living on this earth. So 11 representatives spoke from various national and international organizations doing wonderful work on restoration, conservation, and rejuvenation of the three vital components of the earth. That is namely soil, water, and air. In addition, our 11 branches conducted various lectures during this entire 1 year, workshops, seminars in their areas of expertise, especially Kalpakam branch, Kolhapur, Hyderabad, Nagpur, Roorkee, and also the other branches. We have 11 branches all over the country. Yeah. The culmination of the Golden Jubilee is today's conference. There are 160 registrations for the conference. Until yesterday, it was going on, the registration, and we had to stop it at midnight because we just could not manage to take so many registrations. And about 64 posters have been presented in physical, chemical sciences, biological sciences, mathematics, computers, and applied sciences and technologies from well-known institutions. This only goes to show that how our young researchers are very enthusiastic and want to interact with researchers in allied fields. It's rare that conference takes place on such a wide theme as in this conference. Normally, we come across conferences which are on very focused themes, where only those who are working on that theme interact, join, come together, present their work, etc. But there's a very special reason for this. This is because we want to include as many topics as possible, which are in the frontier today. Such a conference widens our knowledge and offers opportunities to work with other scientists who may be working in a different field, but who may need your expertise. For example, I'm a laser expert. Somebody in solid state physics working on materials may need my help. So we join together and bring out excellent work together. That's the idea when we all meet together. This approach helps in it's a holistic approach to scientific research. As you know, a scientist cannot work alone in the lab. She or he needs many people with whom she has to join hands. So for the next 3 days, let us keep our minds open and learn from each other and build collaborations. Please do that. Build collaborations and knit our ideas together to do good work in scientific and technological research. I wish all of you the best for the next 3 days so that you really enjoy and have valuable takeaways from the conference. Thank you very much and all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita ma'am. It's my honor to invite a distinguished guest, Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, Director General, CSIR, and Secretary DSIR, to join us online. Before we proceed, let me quickly brief you about her significant body of work. Dr. Kalaiselvi assumed charge as Secretary DSIR and Director General CSIR, New Delhi, on August 8, 2022. Prior to this appointment, she was working as Director CSIR, Central Electrochemical Research Institute, Karaikudi. She's the first woman Director General of CSIR. Dr. Kalaiselvi's research work of more than 25 years is primarily focused on electrochemical power systems and in particular development of electrode materials, custom designed synthesis methods, optimization of reaction parameters, and electrochemical evaluation of in-house prepared electrode materials for their suitability in energy storage device assembly. Her research interests include lithium and beyond lithium batteries, supercapacitors, and waste-to-wealth driven electrodes, and electrolytes for energy storage and electrocatalytic applications. Her R&D activities include modified electrode materials for high energy and high power lithium battery applications, novel tailor-made electrodes for aqueous and non-aqueous lithium battery, development of polymer-based electrolytes, characterization and deployment of polymer films as electrolytes, ionic and liquid-based electrodes and electrolytes, exploration of bioionic liquids, crystalline electrodes for extended electrochemical potential windows. Dr. Kalaiselvi has served as a nodal scientist for multifunctional electrodes and electrolytes for futuristic technologies, a 12th five-year plan project sponsored by CSR to the tune of rupees 68.5 crore. CSIR and CECRE as the nodal lab and 6 CSIR institutes as participating labs during 2012 and 2017. Professor Baldev Raj graded this project as excellent. As a nominee of CSIR and CECRE, she has worked extensively for e-mobility in India. She has coordinated the preparation of the technical report on the National Mission for Electric Mobility in collaboration with TIFAC, identified academic, research, and industrial partners, was a part of MNRI-initiated Mobility Mission Concept Note, and was the team director of Energy and Energy Devices, that is E2D of CSIR. All eyes on the screen to hear Dr. Kalaiselvi deliver the keynote address. Please give a
Namaskar and pleasant morning to every one of you. I'm extremely happy to be a part of the very important, historically important event called the Triennial and Third International Conference with the theme of Women in Science and Technology, Soaring on the Wings of Change, which is organized by the Indian Women Scientists Association of Mumbai. And I would first start like this. I'm extremely sorry because I plan to be there with all of you physically on this particular day, but due to my pressing preoccupation, I'm not able to do so. But in my view, I think you are all the most privileged and most, I would say, beneficiaries of this particular program. Friends, we are now living in a particular era wherein women are getting celebrated and women in science are getting celebrated in a totally different way. And I would say now the amount of celebration that we are getting, or the kind of recognition that we are getting for our contribution in science and technology, is amazing, wonderful, and unassuming also. So when this country as well as the entire globe is giving this kind of a new reception for women in science and technology, what and all we can do, I think that should be the thought for the day. And I'm sure this particular event is giving a perfect platform to discuss, to brainstorm, to argue, and finally to come up with some good amount of ideas by means of which I think this generation and the next generation of women in science, technology, and innovation, we will be in a better position to do justice, not only for the upliftment of the country, but also for the upliftment of the globe as a whole. So in this view, anyway, this is time for us to really think about what are the inherent talents and strengths which are embedded in women. So once upon a time, there were few positions wherein people used to say that these positions are meant for women. For example, teaching. So even today in nursery and in primary school, I think women teachers are only getting more than enough employment. Because women, we, by inherent nature, we have the tolerance to deal with the kids, and our emotional quotient also matches with the kids' expectation. And therefore, always female teachers in primary school and pre-primary school, I think it is a wonderful job opportunities. Similarly, nursing. So female nurses, even though we have male nursing assistant called MNA, FNA, female nursing assistant, is always the most celebrated ones. And we will be in a position to really talk to and also handle the patients with more than enough tolerance. So teaching is meant for female, nursing is also meant for female, but now the situation is changing. Even though here and there few leaders were there in other areas also, these days now we are coming across two very, very popular technologies, women drivers. Whether it is a three-wheeler, meaning is auto rickshaw drivers, or four-wheeler drivers. So many vehicles are getting driven by female drivers, and therefore these days female drivers are becoming very, very popular. Similarly, another position which is called postwoman. Once upon a time, we were never, when I was a child and all, there was only one terminology called postman. But now we have postman as well as postwoman. Because many places, this postal department, they have also recruited more than enough female, and therefore now this post woman is a very, very common technology. And when all these things are happening as changes, I think Government of India also has come up with a number of new changes, remarkable changes, whether it is army or defense. I think here and all the teams are also being headed by female, and that we can see even during the Independence Day parade as well as the Republic Day parade also. So these are the very recent developments, recent advancements, and therefore no longer we should really make the younger generation to think about the earlier set of people like Sarojini Naidu or Lakshmi Sagal or Kalpana Chawla or P.T. Usha or Mother Teresa. Why? Because the moment you start talking about somebody of maybe a century back or maybe few decades back, maybe this generation may consider it as a story because they have not seen them. You are only making them to listen to, and for sometimes it will be very hard for them to listen that once upon a time they were doing all these things means you cannot expect the child to show any kind of an excitation because these things are becoming popular and many times it is becoming so common also, and therefore I think this is high time we can start showing them living examples, live examples, and therefore we will be able to get them motivated and encouraged for different areas. Now coming to the contribution of women in science, technology and innovation, even today people used to say that in the 80 years of the history of CSIR, Kalaiselvi is the first Director General, Women Director General, and therefore people used to say that you have broken the glass ceiling. I think no longer this word is going to exist. Why? Because once upon a time we were talking about the leaky pipes concept. What is this leaky pipe concept? It is very simple. In the primary school, more number of girl children are getting educated. When it comes to high school, higher secondary school and college at the undergraduate level, you can just witness more number of female children are getting themselves educated. But when it comes to post-graduation, the number is getting reduced drastically because the moment you finish your school studies and your undergraduate studies, most of the times women are getting trapped into the family life in the name of marriage. And therefore, number of female students taking up higher education like post-graduation, it is getting reduced. But even after post-graduation, how many female students are capable of immediately taking up job and how they are able to manage both office as well as the home equally, which we call it as work-life balance. Whether this country is having any specific arrangement in the system itself by means of which the female children or the female students, they are given an opportunity to get to know what is meant by work-life balance, how to manage office and also the home parallelly without giving any kind of a compromise. So I think all these points, I think we need to give more than enough emphasis even at this point of time, because even now there is no system in place through which you can educate a girl child, through which you can educate a postgraduate student, how best she can manage both the house or the family as well as her office without giving any kind of a compromise. So this is one requirement I feel that which is essential and which is the need of the hour, even considering the kind of developments that the country as well as the globe has seen as on date. Now, after post-graduation, again, how many female postgraduates are able to take up research as their career? Because when you just start your research career, again, it is not a 1 year story, it is not a 2 year story, it is going to be a 4 year or a 5 year or even many a times it's a 6 year story. Therefore, how long you will be able to manage this kind of managing the family as well as managing your research, or if at all the girl is not getting married, again the kind of time that she is going to spend before she enters into the family life. So this research period is again a very, very challenging period. She needs a lot of emotional balance. She needs a lot of moral support. She needs a lot of support, not only from the first layer, she requires a lot of support from the second level assistance also. Therefore, the kind of support system that is required for a female to shine as a PhD scholar is really, really challenging even today. Therefore, do we have any arrangement in the system? I think this is the time that we have to think about. Can we think about some new ideas? Can we come up with some kind of an arrangement by means of which we can ensure that, yes, research is one area which is, even though it is full of challenges, we are offering you these many, I would say, comfort zones by means of which this particular area could be very easily traveled and surpassed by you. So are we in a position to give that kind of an assurance as on date? Not fully. Therefore, I think we have to think about these comfort zones which are to be offered to female researchers, I think, through such forums. Now, after finishing this PhD, now she is entering into the job or office, maybe as a full-time employer. So again, she is all the time, one more parallel line that is traveling with her is her family. So family consists of spouse, then again child or children, and therefore now her responsibility is getting increased multifold. Therefore, again, what are the various possible support systems that could be offered to her? I'm not denying now number of comfort zones are already available, but my question is whether this is enough for them. For example, age relaxation is there for female, and even for female employees in many organizations, they are giving some kind of an arrangement in the form of a crèche, wherein they can just leave the children of maybe 2 years or under 2 years also. So this is how some kind of internal arrangements are made available in some organizations, and therefore it is available in a particular ratio. But I think this should be made as a totally available facility everywhere. And therefore, I think if we do so, if we succeed in doing so, we may be able to increase the number of women who are going up to research and who are coming up as successful employees after their education. Now, again, people, the moment you just make a woman to occupy the employment, I think thereafter, I think she will take care of herself and she will again take and put in her fullest contribution, fullest efforts, and she will reach to the level of leaders. So right at this point of time, maybe as on date, women leaders in different departments, areas, and ministries may be less, but it is comparatively higher and larger than the years. And when it is to be compared with the upcoming or the future scenario, definitely future is going to have a lot more female leaders. Why? Because now itself, the female children, they are growing up with a lot of emotional balance, the kind of maturity, the thought process, maturity in thought process, maturity in conducting themselves, maturity in managing the situation. So all these things are now very much encouraging, and it is very much obviously visible with respect to the new generation, or I would say the current young generation. Therefore, when they are growing up, when they grow up as next generation leaders, I think they will have more maturity. But then if at all we give the support system also, so the inherent maturity and the offered comfort zones, this particular combination will help in a major way, by means of which not only in India, I think across the globe, women leaders are going to really dominate the world in very many important areas and administrative roles. But to do so, I think now itself, every country, without an exception of India, we are having number of programs For example, if at all a female scholar is not able to continue with her research program, but still she is interested to continue with her research studies, I think we have programs like WOSA A, WOSA B, WOSA C, like very many programs are there. And apart from that, we from CSIR, because I'm from the family of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, wherein we recently launched a special program called CSIR Aspire. Meaning is, it is fully dedicated to only women researchers. Project proposals will be received only from female researchers, and female researchers will be given research grant, and they will be encouraged to take up research irrespective of their earlier break or mid-career break or whatever. So this is how not only CSIR, DST, DBT, and other ministries are also coming up with a number of new initiatives. I think putting together all these initiatives, women in science, technology, and innovation is really now very appreciable these days. And when we are showing this kind of an improvement, platforms like this international conferences, wherein we will be having more than enough opportunities to meet with women leaders, to discuss with, and to get their suggestions, advice, mentorship, and direction, by means of which I think the younger generation, the scope for you to develop your strengths as well as to showcase your capabilities is more. And in my perception, and from my point of view, this particular international conference is one of the very greatest opportunities which is being offered to the Indian female researchers. And I think you as a participant should really make use of this opportunity, and you should always be an example to the next generation also by way of showcasing your talents. So with these few words, one more time, I say that no time India is a follower of any great, I would say, technology or accomplishment or achievement, because when the whole world, the data says that when you just compare the gender parity or the ratio of male and female who are shining in the field of science, technology, and innovation, it is somewhere lying between 20 to 25 only. And in India, it is somewhere around 30. And similarly, even in CSIR system also, if you just compare the number of female research scholars, I think it is really going up and up day by day. And from 32% now it is going up to 36, and it is slowly reaching more than 40% also in the days. And therefore, using this particular era, wherein we are getting more than enough opportunities, we are getting more than enough recognition. Now the society is able to understand what is our requirement. We should encash all these opportunities. You as a responsible women researcher, or you as a responsible female student, you should encash all the opportunities, and you should really make use of these opportunities for your development, as well as you should set an example, and you should make a chain of number of other female research scholars also, and we should make this as a great silent revolutionary movement, by means of which we, the women researchers, we should have always a focused thought. We should put in our fullest effort. We should give our 200% best efforts, and we should make use of the available opportunities. Let us not put the blame on A is not available, B is not available, C is not available. It is not the way one can develop. Within the available facilities, within the given circumstances, how best I can shine, how best I can do justice. If we start thinking in this direction, and if we make use of platforms of this international conference and the discussions for that particular direction, I think these are not so far off. Indian women will rock in the global scenario also, and across the globe, women in science, technology, and innovation, we are going to create a new history, and the history is going to be full of accomplishments. I look forward that particular day, wherein the contribution from you and me should also be a portion of it. And I'm sure And I'm 100% sure that this particular event will also give you more than enough opportunities to think and focus your attempts through that direction. With these few words, one more time, my apologies for not being able to be with you and spend the day with all of you during the entire proceedings, and my best wishes for the success of this event. Thank you so very much. Namaskar.